Hey, what's up, studs, and welcome to Ask MandRproductions. This episode is sponsored by Whatnot. More on them later, but our first question from Elbrick says, this is the big question for episode 300. Are you ready? And that's the thing about episode 300. There is no episode 300. This is season 2 of Ask MandRproductions. Round of applause. Okay, well, maybe it is actually just episode 300. There's more to his question, though. He says, what would the young Ryan who made the first Ask MandR say if he saw how far your channel has come? I think the first thing would be very good. We're not bald yet. That's great. It's been 6.5 years. Still have hair. Like that. But yeah, jokes aside, me of 6.5 years ago, first episode of Ask MandR, I am about 2 months away from spending every dollar I had at that point on the UCS Falcons. So I had no money. I had no success compared to where I am now. I literally bought a house from YouTube like 6.5 years ago. I could not really have conceived where I am now. Like, very frankly, I have no idea how I would have reacted to know, what an incredible thing we've built here over the last 6.5 years. Like, it's insane. I think in one sense I'd be very happy, and then in another sense I'd be very sad to know what was coming for my relationship between me and Lego, because 6.5 years ago, episode 1 of Ask MandRproductions was even before they threatened to sue me for buying the Last Jedi sets. So yeah, I'd be sad about that, but generally, obviously, very happy for everything else. It's really incredible. I would probably honestly be the most excited about the collection that I've been able to build, because that's what kept me in it forever. It's just the collecting of it. I love collecting Lego Star Wars. I love having stuff on display, and knowing that I would be able to have kind of a dream display setup would have just blown my mind, and it's fantastic. And I think even sometimes right now I don't even fully appreciate where I've gotten to with my display, because I think at its very core with Lego Star Wars, that is what I probably enjoy the most, is the collecting and displaying. Maybe not necessarily the commentary or the reviewing or the comparisons. It might for me really be getting to have a cool display setup. I know last time, by the way, I did a video thing. I just wanted to do something a little bit different this time and just do a more chill episode and just pick some of the best questions. But yeah, moving on from Rotzi, he says, if both Lego Death Troopers and Senate Guard Commandos were formerly considered high-valued coveted figures, then why is everyone fine with Death Troopers in a battle pack but not the Senate Commandos? I think you're really overgeneralizing when you say why is everyone fine with Death Troopers and not Senate Commandos, because I don't think there are that many people that aren't fine with one over the other. So I think the reason you're actually asking this is because one of my hottest takes ever is when I said that Senate Commandos shouldn't have had a battle pack, because I just don't think they needed one. They were in the Cad Bane Speeder, they were in the 2009 Venator, so they had a couple sets that they were in, and I looked at them as Imperial Guards, essentially. I also don't think Imperial Guards should have been in a battle pack. I think that's still a pretty ridiculous battle pack. I do also recognize not every battle pack has to be the cookie cutter army builder clone trooper thing. I can't really speak to the value of the figures, and generally that is not really a consideration for me when it comes to that sort of thing. It's just does it belong? Does it make sense? And to me, always with Senate Commandos, I didn't think so. Next question from Samilton says, what are your favorite questions you've received in the last 300 episodes of this series? So obviously I've received a ton of awesome questions. I literally read every question every week for this series when I go and pick the questions. This week we had almost 1,000, which is insane. Thank you guys. But there are some that I more or less avoid that I just either don't feel like I have good answers for or don't really feel like answering, that I want to give you an answer just because this is the special episode. So first off, a lot of people always ask if I have a girlfriend or anything. Bless your heart. I appreciate that you think of me. That one's not getting an answer. I know I just said I want to answer something. Bless your heart. We'll cross that bridge if we need to cross that bridge. There's some things I just don't want to have to worry about. The other one that I get a lot is what do my parents think about all this? And honestly, I probably should have asked my mom or dad to come on and answer a question or two for this. It would have been kind of cool. Maybe for the next milestone. But they have been incredibly supportive forever. They gave me more than enough space, more than enough leniency with dropping out of college, which I still can't believe. Definitely been very helpful with helping me move things from my parents' house to here, obviously. So, I mean, I couldn't say, I guess, exactly what they think, but generally very supportive. And I think San said it pretty well in the vlog.
So my mom agreed to let us bring some stuff to my house.
Agreed. This guy didn't even want to ask because he was worried she might be upset. She was so far from being upset. She was supportive.
I guess another one I skip over a lot is people will ask me if YouTube is my full-time job or if I have another job. YouTube is my full-time job. I think we're going to need to do like a special edition episode where I do like the hottest hot questions that you guys can ask me. Maybe that's what we'll do. I think I need to do a special edition episode where it's just like the spiciest questions you guys can ask, and I let someone else pick them and I'm forced to answer most of them or something. I don't know. It could be fun. Crazy Dog says, with the whole 2021 Boba Fett Starship thing, do you think we'll ever see a Watto as a minifigure again? So Crazy Dog here made a fantastic little video a while back talking about the Watto minifigure and the potential that LEGO Star Wars may never make a Watto minifigure again. Not because Watto is unpopular or people don't want Watto, but I assume because Watto is some type of stereotype that would be considered offensive, and therefore LEGO Star Wars would not be allowed or want to make a Watto minifigure. And Crazy Dog may be onto something. LEGO may never make another Watto minifigure again because of something like that. It would be quite sad. This is a fantastic figure, excellent detail. The printing is perfect. But without going too deep into it, there's no Watto minifigure rumored for 2024. That doesn't mean there couldn't be one in 2025, 2026, etc., etc. As far as a conspiracy theory goes, it's a fun one. Studtastic Studio says, the UCS Sail Barge has great potential, but do you think the set will get Master Builder Series treatment with having a bunch of figures? The Master Builder Series line has been dry with the success of the Cantina extending its shelf life. I can't wait for what the next Master Builder Series set could be. So first up, as far as the Sail Barge is concerned, we had the part count leaked. It's about 3,900. For reference, the Razor Crest and the AT-AT have way more than that. So if I was going to have it lean one way right now, I'm definitely leaning towards more of a model with a couple of figures versus the Razor Crest AT-AT treatment, where you would actually have a minifig scale interior with figures. I hope I'm wrong. I really do, because I want the other thing. But just given the part count, I just feel like it's kind of starting to sway the other way. The other part to your question, though, or kind of question, was what the next Master Builder Series set could be. And I've talked about this a lot, so I feel like a broken record, but I really feel like it's going to be Endor. But to spice it up for episode 300, I went ahead and did something extra special here. These are my predictions for every UCS and Master Builder Series set to close out the decade. So for 2024, we have the TIE Interceptor and Jabba Sail Barge. Those are happening guaranteed. Like, that's the rumor, I suppose. But for 2025, I think for May 4th, we're getting a Revenge of the Sith UCS set, either a combo of Anakin and Obi-Wan's Interceptors or an ARC 170 at that $240 price would be pretty sick. And then in fall of 2025, following the retirement of the Cantina this year, a Battle of Endor Master Builder Series set would definitely fill that slot nicely and take over that $400 price tag where the Cantina was. Then in 2026, we will have just come off the Mandalorian movie, so I think the Mando's N1 Starfighter will be due up for the May 4th $240-ish set. Following that, we will have a UCS Death Star, hopefully. UCS Death Star, another one of those things that's super, super overdue, and I just feel like they definitely need to do a big display Death Star. 2027 rolls around, the 40th anniversary of Star Wars as a whole. You got to do Darth Vader's TIE Fighter. I think a UCS Ghost as the big set in the latter half of the year would fit in pretty nicely. Moving into 2028, we could see the Slave One finally remade alongside the Nebulon B Frigate in the latter half of the year. And closing out the decade in 2029, a UCS Darth Maul Sith Infiltrator and UCS MTT coinciding with the 30th anniversary of the Phantom Menace. We're going to get to do a bit more wish listing here with the next question from Jammin, and this is a topic that needs its own video, very frankly. But he says, what are the top 5 sets you would want LEGO to release for the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith? First off, a UTAT. We need to get Galactic Marines. We need to get Commander Bakara. Give them waist capes, please, and they will be perfect figures. I really want them to do a midi-scale Venator to pair with the rumored Invisible Hand for this year, a May 4th UCS set, and then for the other two, some dioramas. The Duel on Mustafar as a diorama, and same with the Palpatine's Office, Palpatine's Arrest set, because a lot of people want to see a new Palpatine's Arrest. It will probably be very little like the original one because it won't be a playset, but as a diorama, I think it also still has a lot of potential. So those are the 5 sets that I really want to see next year. But I'm going to do a whole video on what we really should expect for next year, because I'm kind of expecting a lot. Fellas, there are some exciting auctions happening on Whatnot soon. This Saturday, January 27th at 3 p.m. Eastern, I'm going to be live auctioning off all of my extra Marvel CMFs from a video you may have not seen yet, starting at just $1 each. No more mysteries there. Oh, and since it's the 300th episode, I'm giving away $300 of new battle packs during that stream too. After that, I'll be rating and co-hosting with MJ Bricks during his $1 start rare LEGO Star Wars auction. Looking ahead to February, I'll be giving away my 3rd UCS Venator.
Another one.
So make sure you bookmark that stream now now so you don't miss it. And if you still haven't signed up for Whatnot, doing so now with the link in the description below will get you a $15 credit for your first purchase. That could mean a free 75372 upgrade kit from my Buy It Now, or maybe even a Funko Pop, because there's a little something for everyone on Whatnot. Thank you again to Whatnot for sponsoring this video, and let's get back into the questions. JKLM Video says, if you had to choose, what is your favorite rant/controversy based video that you've made? So definitely had some good ones over the years, definitely had some bad and very controversial ones over the years, some couple that I might like feel differently about nowadays and like regret, I suppose. The Truth About Lego Star Wars minifigures I really liked. I think that one is pretty spot on. Did a lot of research on that. Just crazy eureka moment that led into that video. I just will never forget being like so motivated to like go down a path and learn things, and maybe there was confirmation bias, I don't know. Another one I look back on was the Lego Ruined It Again Nebulon B Frigate release rant, which because of Lego held a meeting, and I assume the result of that meeting was stop doing cool Comic-Con promos, because we literally haven't had one since, which I personally feel bad about. Like, kind of sucks. Like, honestly, did you see the Star Wars Celebration promo this year compared to what we've had in years past? It really sucks. I do look at that video in like a bad light, but for me, one of my rants stands above them all. For its title, why do Lego Star Wars designers think fans are stupid? A breakdown. For its thumbnail. I mean, just look at that thumbnail. It's beautiful. And then I've probably watched this video back a dozen times because I just enjoy listening to myself be passionate about the thing I was passionate about. And of course, now we're getting the Jedi Bob this year. So, you know, good things can come from rants like this and the community coming together to just tell Lego we're kind of upset, you know? PK Owl says, with the Battle on Peridia set rumored to include Thrawn, Captain Enoch, and Morgan Elsbeth with the new face print, do you think it makes it less likely that we will see the Chimera as a set at the end of 2024 or in 2025? Thrawn Star Destroyer is not coming in 2024. There are 0 slots for it. There's just no way it's coming out this year. But 2025, 2026 is obviously where things should open up for something like that. And with season 2 of the Ahsoka show officially happening, I think that's where we see the Thrawn Star Destroyer. Don't be too down about it. Yes, the figures that would also be in that set are in a, you know, set coming out this summer for like $50, but like they can also just use them in a more expensive set later. It doesn't really matter which way things go. And obviously they can go ahead and include whatever from season 2 if they wait and do it for season 2. I hope they wait and do it for season 2. You know, I think it'd be better to do that. Maybe get some more unique characters. Whoever that Star Destroyer has shown up on Dathomir, right? Maybe we get some Dathomir characters in the Star Destroyer as part of that set to give us something different than we would see in this Peridia set. So Paradisa set, I don't know, I can't never remember how to pronounce this. Bricks That Click says, with the release of the new Jedi Bob minifigure, will it decrease or increase the value of the original? So I see this question pop up basically anytime Lego remakes a figure that has any reasonably substantial value on the secondary market, and I feel like I'm gonna give the same answer every time. It depends. And it probably won't go down too much because history shows us that there is something to having the original for many people. With a lot of these older figures, the quantity available is still just so low, and there's still a good amount of people that are going to want that original that the price just isn't going to go down that much. I highly, highly, highly doubt it increases the value of the old one. I don't really see a path to that happening. But ultimately, to me as a collector and a fan, like, I wanted a new Jedi Bob because I think it's cool, not because it's going to have a positive or negative effect of the value of the one that I already own. I bought it because I wanted it, not because I cared about if it became worth more or less money. I don't know what angle you're coming at it from, I'm just giving you my personal perspective on it. Continuing with our secondary market talk from Bailey, he says, do you think that Lego is discreetly trying to die down the secondary market in terms of minifigures, considering the release of desired figures like Captain Rex in the Microfighter, Admiral Thrawn, Jedi Bob, and others? Well, no, I think they're making the figures that people desire to own, very frankly. It has nothing to do with the secondary market value of them, and the same goes for sets. I mean, really, they're just making things people want to own and buy. There is a quote from one of the designers a couple years ago, and he very specifically said that Lego does not try to meddle with the investments that people make.
It would never even be a business consideration for us to go in and try to affect anybody's secondhand resale business in either a positive or a negative way. Our focus is entirely on on getting
Strong lineup.
Yeah, getting the strongest lineup.
They're aware that people invest in their product clearly, and it's good for Lego that people do that. Whether you want to like it or not, it just is. Lego makes more money from people doing that because more people buy their product, more people sell it on Bricklink, which they also make money from. So, I mean, I know we're very specifically talking figures here, but secondary market in general, Lego benefits from it in many, many ways. It's so good for Lego to have a thriving secondary market. So I feel like a lot of fans get caught up in like, oh yeah, we got resellers, we got this, we got that. It's not really about that, you know, because Lego does benefit from it and they know it. Chris Del Santo says, what are your thoughts on the recent news of the Rey movie being delayed indefinitely? So I saw the news and then I saw other news that said the news was fake. So I don't really know where the, you know, reality of it is. Personally, I would be very okay if we never got a Rey movie. I saw someone comment this on my Ask MandR, I think, actually, when I was reading them for this video, and they said, Rey got a whole trilogy. Why do we need another movie? And I'm like, I agree. I would love to see Finn get a better storyline out of it. Kylo Ren coming back would be pretty dope, although I think Adam Driver very specifically said he ain't involved, although maybe that's what they have to say anyway. I don't know. There's some potentially good stuff that could come out of it with Rey and Finn, and I would love to see some better stuff with their character storylines. But at the same time, I'd also rather see like resources go into like, I was watching Star Wars series recently, like the Old Republic, you know, like going all the way back to that and doing some more Old Republic content and just cool Star Wars stuff. Not that Rey and Finn can't be cool. Very well could be. I mean, shoot, Finn as a stormtrooper with the bloody helmet. I mean, that was cool. If it's delayed, I hope it's for the right reasons, and I hope it's not another movie announcement that's canceled. Now that they've announced it, I do want them to go follow through with it. It's like me, Disney making movies is like me with a mock series, man.
Will you ever build mocks again? Why, yes, I will be. I'll be building a Hoth mock in the very near future.
Next question from Jonah says, who will get your collection/channel when you're no longer with us? Are there people you consider worthy, or will you be going down with the ship? So this one kind of ties into the question from earlier where I was saying I was answering questions I don't like pick and I just skip over every time. This is one of the questions I skip over every time. Episode 300 is getting lucky here. So yeah, I don't like thinking about it, to be very frank with you. That's why I've never picked the question. If I did want to choose, I would probably choose someone that I liked and thought, you know, deserved or should have certain things, because, you know, some of the stuff that I do own is very cool and rare and unique, and, you know, I would want it to go to a good home, right? Or if I ever sold it, let's just frame it that way. If I ever sold certain things, you know, to some degree, I would want to make sure I'm selling it to someone who is going to love it, cherish it, take care of it, whatever. But honestly, I'm way more focused on my day-to-day stuff, like trying to make cool YouTube videos, trying to talk about, you know, what's coming up for Lego Star Wars and what I'm excited about, what I'm not excited about. I'm way more worried about that than what might happen to my Lego collection in 50 years, you know? Like, I don't know. That's just my perspective on it, you know, not trying to be like rude about the question, I suppose, because it might come off that way with this one specifically. It's not something that I really want to consider or think about. Jake's Bricks and Picks says, will the 25th anniversary sets retire that fast? 8 months. So there were a couple of 20th anniversary sets that retired after about 8 months, the Snowspeeder and the Slave One. The other ones went for about 20 months, so about the 2-year run, normal run. To my knowledge, with the Snowspeeder specifically, it retired so early because they stopped producing a certain piece in it for the windscreen. I don't know why the Slave One retired so early, but regardless, the anniversary sets aren't just supposed to be for this year. So like the Tantive Hallway should be available this year and next year type of thing. So I wouldn't worry too much about anniversary sets retiring super fast. If I catch wind that they are, I'll let you know, but most of these should receive pretty normal set release runs. Historically, most anniversary things have, except for those couple of exceptions that I just mentioned. Jose says, do you ever pay people like Corey, or do you just have them trapped somewhere in your house and nobody knows that you can use them for a video? No, yeah, all the people that help me with my content are paid people. So yeah, if Corey builds something, if my brother builds something, yeah, they get paid quite well for building Lego, honestly. More than I did, you know, working the laser tag at Funtown. Next question from Repticare says, MegaCon fan meetup with Star Wars Theory and MandR. So apparently Star Wars Theory is coming to Orlando. That would be a pretty cool thing, but I know. Probably not. You know, I don't really know the guy. I follow him and watch his stuff and just enjoy from afar, though. So maybe I'll go there just to be able to say I've met him and shake his hand and have a selfie, I guess. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for 300 amazing episodes of Ask MandRproductions. I appreciate all the questions that we've had at this point, and I very much look forward to the next at least 201 episodes. Got to get to 501. That's going to be... I'm getting a full 501st outfit if we get to 501. If you guys want, go ahead and sign up for Whatnot with the link in the description below. Get that $15 off and come to my stream where I'm literally giving away $300 of new battle packs just to celebrate 300 episodes. Anyway, that's it. Peace out on Dina.